Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Twanelo She, but I also go by Umama Wegenge, and this is Dare to Be Different. To my subscribers or my regulars, welcome back guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. But if it's your first time seeing my face or coming across my channel, you're also welcome. Please do check out all my other videos so that you may know what I and my channel are all about. Please do make the conscious decision to join the family as well and enjoy your stay. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've done a sit down video, but today I've decided, why not? Let's just get into it. So before I get into it, I just want to thank you guys so much for the support you have shown me. The family is growing. The family is growing and it really is making me happy. Thank you so much to you guys for commenting on my videos, liking my videos and sharing my videos, because as I mentioned before, it does help the YouTube algorithm pick up on my videos much more and show it to more people. So thank you so much for continuously doing so, continuously showing me love and continuously showing me support. My Instagram family is also growing. Thank you so much guys for sharing about my Instagram page. But if you haven't followed me yet, please do follow me. It's at Twanelo H. Please do follow me on Instagram. Things are looking good. I did promise you guys some good content, and I believe that I am delivering. So please do follow me on Instagram and please do subscribe if you haven't. Let's get into today's video then. How about that? So today I want us to chat about cutting people off. Yes, cutting people off. This term I feel is used loosely in most cases. Some people really honestly use it without even understanding what it means or to what extent we can use it. But I believe sometimes it is necessary to cut people off, sometimes it really isn't. So the first point I would like to discuss is sometimes we do not really need to cut people off, we just need to reposition them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get me? For instance, you could be placing someone in a particular position in your life where they honestly do not belong, but they would play a great role had you put them in a position in which they belong. For instance, we find ourselves placing, let's use friends for instance. You place a certain friend and you maybe label her as your best friend, and she fails dismally at being your best friend. Maybe she doesn't show up for you, she's not there for you emotionally, financially. Sometimes we do need financial support from our friends. Sometimes a person is just unreliable. Sometimes they maybe do not keep your secrets, or it's not someone that you can trust as your best friend. But you'd find that if this person became one of the people that you know, or an acquaintance, they'd play an amazing role. Because for instance, if someone is your best friend, you expect a lot from them. You expect loyalty, you expect them to show up, you expect them to be like a sister more than a friend. Because the reason why people get to the best friend zone is because they act as family, they act like blood as opposed to just friends. But if someone is an acquaintance, they are not your first point of reference. If you are in trouble, or if you are going through a lot, or if you want to offload or share if you're going through something, they're not going to be someone that you tell first. They're not going to be someone that you think of first, and they're not going to be someone that you are going to call and ask for a solution. You know what I mean? So some friends, you find that you put them in wrong positions. Sometimes you put someone as your best friend, whereas they do well as an acquaintance. For instance, a friend who doesn't do any of the things I've just mentioned that we all expect from a best friend, they honestly might surprise you and always show up to your events, even if maybe they're late, and maybe they might refer you to some business opportunities, and they think of you sometimes and check up on you. That person is best if they were to play the role of an acquaintance, but we misposition the person. So if this person that you regard as a best friend fulfills the acquaintance role, why would you want to cut them off? For me, the thing is, we don't all believe in having best friends and acquaintances and close friends and whatever. Some people just want to have friends. I've got like 2 friends and that's that. I don't want to position them. But some of us, we do have those levels in friendship where you're like, no, this one is my first point of reference, this one is the second, this one is the third. Sometimes you only need to move a person from the first position to the last, which is maybe your third or your fifth, where they play a very good position. For instance, also, this happens a lot in soccer, I believe. Sometimes they might put you as a striker, but you're not really good as a striker, but as a midfielder. So is the team supposed to get rid of you because you're not playing well as the position in which they put you? So for me, number one, repositioning works. Before you decide to cut someone off, consider repositioning them because they might surprise you. Also, sometimes maybe in business or at work or in a company, sometimes you might give someone a position of maybe a CEO, only to find out that they work best if you were to give them a position as a CFO or a PA or something like that. So the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes we do not really need to cut people off, but we need to reposition them. So please do consider repositioning people before you decide to cut them off. It's not everyone that deserves to be cut off. My second point is we are too quick to cut people off. Sometimes we cut people off where the reason is not sufficient. We might only need to just communicate with the person. For instance, so my second point is don't cut people off before you communicate or to avoid communication. So most of us, I'm also guilty of this one. Sometimes instead of facing a problem that I might have with a friend, a business partner, or some of us with maybe a lover or a romantic partner, we decide to cut things off instead of communicating and addressing an issue. For instance, you might find that our deal breakers as people are different because we are also different. You might find that, for instance, a partner decides to maybe not disclose how much they earn. Maybe a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or boyfriend, they decide not to disclose how much they earn. And then for someone else, it might feel like a deal breaker. So then they don't tell you how much they earn, and you feel like, but I've told you how much I earn, so I just need to cut you off. I can't do this anymore. I feel like it's a matter of communication. Just try and sit down with the person and find out, why do you want to know how much I earn? Why is it so important to you to know how much I earn? And then once you explain why it's so important to you to know how much your spouse earns, then you might have a different conversation where maybe your spouse might explain in a manner that you also understand why they would not want to disclose how much they earn. Or if you don't understand, then you might cut them off. So my point is, do not try to avoid communicating and addressing issues. Another typical example would be maybe you found out that your spouse is seeing someone else and you are not really sure about it. You don't have any hard evidence. You've just heard from a person. It's just hearsay. So you've never really seen a picture, a text, or anything that is hard evidence. And then instead of addressing the issue with your partner, you just decide to cut them off. I mean, the best thing to do is to ask and find out, or try to find evidence, no matter what you do, in order to find that evidence. But at least if you've got something concrete, something usable, you know. The third example that I'm going to use in terms of addressing issues instead of cutting people off or before cutting people off is in families. Most of the time, families do not discuss issues. If siblings have a problem, cousins have a problem, most of the time it's issues between a parent and a child. We do not want to discuss issues. We do not want to communicate, and instead of that, we cut each other off. But in all honesty, we need our family members. We need our siblings. So if you've got an issue with your sibling, if maybe your sibling hurt you when you were growing up, maybe she might have said something that set in your heart and you never forgot, something that really hurt you, I think it's best that you address it with your sibling, that, you know, the other time, maybe when we were 15 or when we were 20, you kind of said something that hurt me. You might have said, maybe I'll never have kids, or maybe I won't be successful, and that thing really hurt me. Like, why did you say that? And then they said it. Sometimes you might find that it was just out of spite. Maybe you were fighting and then you were winning the argument, and then for your spouse to for your sibling or your family member to feel valid and to feel as if they're winning the fight, they might have said that just out of spite. And then that might also just help you ease the pain and the luggage that you're carrying of just thinking, no, let me just cut this person off. So instead of cutting people off, let's first address the problem that we have with the person before just jumping into cutting the person off. I think I've lost my train of thought. I don't know which point I'm making now, but the other point I want to make when it comes to cutting people off is sometimes we cut people off because we don't want to face the truth. Sometimes we are the ones who are in the wrong, but we are not confident enough, or our ego and pride does not allow us to face the truth. Sometimes you are in the wrong, and instead of carrying the guilt or owning up to your mistake or your part in the whole mess, you decide to cut people off. This happens a lot when you find people gossiping. This one is for those who love to gossip. Sometimes you find that you gossip with someone. You gossip with a friend, maybe there's 3 of you in the circle, you decide to gossip with this friend, and then this friend goes to tell the other friend. And then you find out that this person found out that you guys were talking about them, and now they are going to confront you about it. So instead of you waiting for the confrontation, or instead of you standing up for that, or standing up for whatever you said, you decide to cut the person off before they even come to confront you about what you said. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Because most of us do that a lot. I have done it in the past, I know, where you'd have a circle of friends and then you talk about each other. And then the day the person hears whatever you guys were talking about, it's difficult for you to own up to what you said. Because this person is going to come and say, I heard that you said this, that, and the other about me. Why did you say that? Or why did you decide to speak about that? And that is not even true. Why would you say such things about me as your friend? And then instead of saying, I'm sorry, I was just caught up in a lie, or I'm sorry, I was wrong for speaking about a situation in which you trusted me with, but I decided to share it with my other friends. I'm sorry for not being a reliable friend. Most of us in that case, we decide to be like, no, I'm just going to cut you off. And the truth of the matter is, you are the one who's in the wrong. So sometimes we find ourselves cutting people off when we are afraid to face the truth about ourselves. Another thing that I wanted to speak about when it comes to cutting people off is insecurities. Sometimes we cut people off because of our own insecurities. Sometimes we cut people off because of our own insecurities. So I know this very well. So I feel that it's honestly sad that we do this. But it's one of the reasons why some of us cut people off, which does not make sense. It's sad. Because now, some of us cut people off because they are becoming successful. They are becoming better as a person. If a person is losing weight, if a person is getting financially well off, if a person is getting financially stable, if a person gets married and has kids, and now we get insecure and we decide to cut them off. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? I think the point I'm just trying to bring across is sometimes we cut people off for reasons that do not make sense. You know, because most of the time we have friends that we grow up with, we have relatives that we grow up with, and maybe they come from shaky backgrounds, where maybe someone comes from a family that is broken. So in our minds, we tell ourselves that they can't create a family of their own. And then when it happens, when they get married, have kids and become successful, then we decide to cut them off. That's an insecurity. It's wrong to do that. Also, you might find that we decide to start a weight loss journey together. And then maybe I'm not serious enough, and then maybe a cousin of mine is very serious and she starts losing weight. Now I become insecure about my own weight and the fact that I failed at committing to losing weight, and then my cousin is losing weight, and then I start saying, no, actually I don't like her. She didn't really give me proper advice, because now we're supposed to start the journey together, but now she's lost weight and I haven't. I don't like her, I'm going to cut her off. No. Sometimes let us not be insecure to the point of cutting people off. I feel like we honestly make big mistakes when it comes to cutting people off. I know that sometimes it sounds like it's the best thing to do, but I think we need to sit down, sit back, and think before we cut people off, because sometimes it's not to our benefit to cut people off, and I don't think it's a smart thing to do. I believe in cutting people off, do not hear me wrong, but I believe that we need to think about it before we do it. We need to introspect. I mean, most of the time we find ourselves cutting people off, people who are going to help us become better people who are going to help us in business, people who are going to help us in whatever sphere of life we're in. But because now we are in this hype of cutting people off, we don't even see beyond how this person is helping you become a better person. You know, because some of us will cut other people off for being called out on our own wrongdoings. You know, if someone comes and says, but Tonelo, I don't like the way you spoke to me yesterday, then I'm like, I'm going to cut her off. She can't come to me and tell me that. I mean, I had, it was my right for me to tell her off. I mean, she couldn't ask me about such personal things. Why did she ask me about personal things? I'm just going to cut her off. No, you don't cut people off for telling you how they feel about how you speak to them. Sometimes people tell you how they feel about what you do because they want to build a stronger relationship with us. But we always take it the wrong way. Instead of admitting and owning up to what you did, sometimes you speak to someone in a bad manner and you don't really realize it. But when they have the confidence to come and tell you, it means that person really does love you and that person really does want to build a relationship with you. And they want to keep you around. But if you can't take that, if you can't admit when you have wronged someone, most of the time we wrong people without realizing it. But when the person tells you and makes you aware, the best thing you can do is to self-introspect and apologize. Sometimes you don't really need to look at the reason why you did that, because most of the time we find ourselves saying, no, but the thing is, I ended up speaking to you like that because you attacked me. It doesn't make sense. Once someone says what you said to me hurt me, it hurt my feelings, it made me feel like I'm less of a person, and it made me feel uncomfortable. The first thing you do is you apologize. And also in your apology, you don't say I'm sorry, but, because whatever you say after the but removes anything you said before the but. So if someone comes and tells you that I'm not comfortable with whatever you said or whatever you did, you apologize. You don't cut them off because this person cares about you. It's as simple as that. So I think just today I just wanted to share that. I know that this cutting people off thing is hype. It's hyped up. It's a vibe. Everyone is just saying, no, just cut them off. I also just cut them off. It does not really necessarily need to be like that all the time. Let's self-introspect. Let's think about it before we make the decision to cut people off, because one day you will also get cut off for doing absolutely nothing to someone. You'll find yourself ending a relationship that you had for so long because of something really small, and you won't realize that you've been doing it to other people. So before we cut people off, let us think, let us sit back and make sure that it's for the right reasons. Cut people off for the right reasons. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Please do not forget to like, share, and comment on this particular video and all my other videos. And most importantly, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on my next one. Love and light.